Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 3rd of July, 2021. Do hope you are doing well. So, the new Overbought Oversold indicator has been out for a couple of weeks now, and I'm starting to get some good feedback. People really starting to understand it and enjoy it. So this message from Mr. Owens. I want to thank you for the new addition to the Better Indicators. The Overbought Oversold system really helps to clarify turns in the market, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make everything as simple, least interpretation as possible, because I use these indicators every day in my trading. I need to be able to see a whole bunch of charts at the same time and see where the turns are happening. But I am getting a couple of questions with some people having some difficulty adding the indicator to the charts, mostly because they're trying to add too many of the better indicators to one chart at a time. So I thought I would just show you how I set up the indicators on my chart and make a template so that you can kind of follow along. And I thought I would do it on a Bitcoin chart because the Bitcoin market is opening and going places, and we can just read what's happening this weekend on Bitcoin. So without further ado, this is what we're going to do. Bitcoin BTC USD chart on TradeStation, an 8600 tip bar chart, which is roughly equivalent to an hourly chart. Obviously, I use TradeStation for my charting. The indicators are also available for NinjaTrader and multi-charts. Multi-charts is almost identical to TradeStation, so you should be able to follow on directly there. NinjaTrader, a little bit different, kind of the look and feel of NinjaTrader and how you add indicators to charts is slightly different, but hopefully if I show you on TradeStation, you'll kind of get the picture for NinjaTrader. So what I do here is I go Insert Analysis Technique, and what I'm doing is I'm adding better momentum, and I hold down the Control key. I'm adding better Pro-Am, I'm adding better sine wave, and the system Overbought Oversold. So what I'm trying to do here is add the best of these indicators combined with the Overbought Oversold indicator. So when I do an OK and add everything to the chart, a little bit of a mess. So all we need to do is clean it up, take off the signals that we do not need here on these charts so that everything looks a lot simpler. So let me show you how I do that. First one is better momentum. I'm using everything on there in the default settings of better momentum, which gives me exhaustion patterns, divergence patterns, and flush patterns. With better Pro-Am though, I'm turning off a couple of things. So I'm going to go format there, and I'm going to turn off the amateur bars, set that to false, and I'm going to turn off the Rambo patterns because I'm less interested in those. What I'm interested is in the pro bars. And one of the things I'm starting to do on all of my charts now is not exclude any time. I've talked about this in the past where trades at the beginning and the end of the day kind of skew the professional calculations in better Pro-Am, but I'm kind of moving away from that and just making sure that all my charts now, we see all of the time history and we calculate what the professionals are doing all of the time rather than excluding some of that time. So I'm setting that to false as well. So that's all the changes that we need to do in better Pro-Am, pretty simple. And with better sine wave, we'll go to format here, and what I'm doing is I'm turning off these three plotting the support and resistance in the lowest, intermediate, and highest time frame, 1, 2, and 3 time frames, because we've now got it as a background plot. We're not interested in the actual kind of figures themselves, but what I do want to keep is plotting the paint bars, which gives me the trending system in better sine wave. So hit OK, and then close, and there we go. That's the chart kind of cleaned up. So we've got three things going on. We've got signals coming from better sine wave, which is the background plotted in red for oversold, in white for overbought. We've got better momentum showing us exhaustion patterns, divergence and flush patterns, exhaustion patterns, bullish divergence and flush patterns. And then better Pro-Am is just showing me where the professionals are active and trailing a stop behind the professional activity. And then the combination of those three gives me the signals, which is coming from the Overbought Oversold system. And then we can see trend strength plotted with white bars for downtrends and red bars for uptrends, and that's coming from better sine wave. Add the three indicators with the system using default settings, and then just switch off the things that are less important, which is the amateur bars, the Rambo patterns, and the support and resistance lines in the lowest, intermediate, and highest time frames. And that's what gives me the simplest chart. Now, one of the neat things about this is you can see the blue professional bars here and here, here and here are overprinting the trend indicator that is coming from better sine wave. It does matter the sequence in which you add the indicators on. So just be aware of that, and I'll just show you that in this example here. If I add Better Pro-Am first and then Better Sine Wave, you can see the blue professional bars overplot the trend signals neatly. Okay. However, if I did it the other way around, Better Sine Wave first and then Better Pro-Am, you can see the blue professional bars do not show up clearly on those charts. So the sequence that you add the indicators does actually matter. So that's just a little wrinkle for there, but it helps be able to see clearly where the professionals are active. So what are we seeing on the Bitcoin chart for this weekend? We had this nasty little sell-off below 30,000, which cleared everybody out. We got a huge exhaustion signal there. We got a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of coming at those lows there, and we raced away from there. And we've just been testing into those lows. So we come down to 30.31 last time around here, having had a little bit of professional profit taking up here, but the professionals were coming in at those lows, and we got above the highs of that. Then the next time we see professionals, less activity. You can see, we had a little bit here, a little bit here, fewer bars, just one bar at the high here, and we kind of sell off down to 33, so we're making a higher low at that point, but it's not come with exhaustion buy. Over here we don't have bearish divergence. Yes, we have cyclically, we're kind of overbought, and we've just gone below blue professional bars at those highs, but that's not the making of a top. That's a top. Exhaustion patterns, flush patterns, then cyclical resistance, and breaking below the lows of the blue professional bars into a downtrend. And that's why we get a signal to go short with the overbought oversold system. All three indicators have come together. Up here, we did not have a signal because we don't have all three indicators come together. We just have a cyclical pattern showing that there's some cyclical resistance. At this point here, we have a little bit of professional profit taking at those highs there, and so we have a little bit of a sell-off. But 33 has caught, and today's activity, we're kind of breaking up, and we've broken into an uptrend on Better Sine Wave here, which is why the bars are printing red. So getting above 36 is going to be key at this point, and then the next level up is 40, 41 to get above there. So let's see what happens next.